Now listen carefully. It doesn't matter who you are or where you are in life, whether you're a student struggling to study, remember, or focus, whether you're in relationships, hurting people you care about without meaning to, or whether you're trying to build a career full of ideas but unable to stay consistent. The problem is the same, and the solution is also the same. In this video, we're going to break down 3 stages of life: student life, relationship life, career life, and you'll see how this one invisible issue shows up in all 3, how it destroys confidence if you don't understand it, and how it becomes a weapon once you do. So no matter which stage you're in, stay with me, because this might explain your entire life. Student life. If you're a student, you might understand this. You don't ignore your studies, you care. The problem isn't that you don't try. The problem is that your efforts don't always translate into results. You sit in lectures, but the information doesn't stick. It's like everything goes in, but nothing gets properly organized in your mind. You often feel like other students grasp things with less effort, while you have to put in much more energy just to reach the same level. You don't procrastinate because you're careless. You procrastinate because starting a task is the hardest part. Once you start, sometimes hours go by without noticing, and other times even 10 minutes feels impossible. You try to build routines, use planners, make to-do lists, but consistency never sticks. And when consistency fails, guilt shows up. Self-doubt creeps in. You ask yourself, why can't I manage such simple things? Teachers and parents often assume the problem is effort. You know it's not about effort. You get mentally exhausted but can't explain why you're tired. The most frustrating part is that you feel your potential but can't use it consistently. And slowly, you start doubting yourself. If this accurately describes your student life, one thing is clear. You're not alone, and you're not broken. You're in a system that doesn't understand the way your mind works. Marriage life, relationship challenges. If you're married, you might recognize these situations. Sometimes when talking with your partner, you interrupt them. It's not about intention. The conversation just doesn't flow naturally. There are moments when your speech has unusual pauses, or you speak slower than usual, and sometimes you feel that your words aren't coming out right. Your partner may feel like you're not paying attention, but in reality, you're genuinely trying to focus. Deadlines and appointments get missed. Schedules or important dates slip your mind. These small things can build tension in the relationship. Bills, household expenses, or other financial responsibilities can be forgotten. Important conversations or plans sometimes don't stick. Your partner may feel like their priorities aren't being acknowledged, even though you truly want things to run smoothly. Driving or navigation can feel stressful. Your partner may feel like you rely too much on them, and you yourself feel uncomfortable being in full control in certain situations. Clutter and piles can accumulate at home. Simple chores or commitments may be avoided. Deadlines or appointments might be postponed, and for some tasks, motivation just isn't there. These repetitive patterns can make your partner frustrated, and you may feel guilty. Small misunderstandings build up tension in the relationship. The first thing to remember is these issues are not about intention. They happen naturally, and they can be challenging for both partners. Career life. Imagine this. You wake up full of energy. Your mind is overflowing with ideas, projects, goals, opportunities. Everything feels possible today. You pick one idea and throw yourself into it. You feel unstoppable. You feel on fire. But a few days in, the energy fades. The project feels boring. The details frustrate you. Your mind drifts to something new, something exciting. Suddenly, a new idea pops into your head. You can't resist. The first project, left behind, half finished. This pattern repeats. Multiple projects, multiple tasks, all at once. Nothing gets completed. You try to focus, but distractions pull you in every direction. Messages, notifications, random thoughts. You try again, and then a third idea sparks. By the end of the day, you're juggling 3 or 4 things, but none is done. Weeks pass. Your mind is still creative, still energetic, still capable, but execution keeps failing. Deadlines creep up. Opportunities slip away. Frustration grows. Self-doubt creeps in. You look at yourself and think, why can't I finish anything? Why do I start with so much energy but never reach the end? You feel behind everyone else. Colleagues, friends, even peers seem to accomplish everything. Meanwhile, your ideas pile up in a storm of chaos in your mind. The worst part? You know what you're capable of, but somehow nothing matches your potential.
You try to juggle everything at once. You hope somehow it will all get done. But reality is harsh. Half-finished projects, scattered focus, endless mental exhaustion. The cycle continues. Bursts of energy in the beginning, quick boredom, constantly shifting focus, multiple tasks competing for your attention. Completion feels impossible. It's exhausting, it's frustrating, it's confusing, and most of the time you don't even understand why this keeps happening. And here's the truth. This isn't laziness, it's not lack of talent, it's something deeper. And now we're going to dive deeper. We're going to explore why this happens, what causes your brain to behave like this, and how understanding it can transform the way you work, focus, and achieve. Because once you know the reason, the chaos finally starts to make sense, and the first step to mastering it begins. ADHD. ADHD, scientifically known as Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, is not about low intelligence, laziness, or lack of ambition. It is a neurodevelopmental condition, which means the brain develops and functions differently from the typical brain. Research shows that ADHD mainly affects attention regulation, motivation, and executive functions like planning, time management, emotional control, and follow-through. In an ADHD brain, attention does not respond to importance or consequences. Instead, it responds to interest, novelty, urgency, and emotion, which is why boring tasks feel almost impossible, while exciting tasks can trigger extreme hyperfocus. A key scientific factor is dopamine, a neurotransmitter responsible for motivation and reward. ADHD brains often have lower or poorly regulated dopamine activity, causing strong excitement at the start of new ideas and rapid boredom during routine or long-term tasks, leading to unfinished projects. Brain imaging studies also show differences in the prefrontal cortex and dopamine pathways, which explains why a person may know exactly what needs to be done but still struggle to execute it consistently. This is not a disease you catch like flu. It is a difference in brain wiring, influenced by genetics and development, and many people don't realize they have it because intelligence, creativity, and last-minute pressure help them cope until life demands consistency. In reality, ADHD is not a lack of ability, it's a regulation disorder, and understanding this truth is the first step towards stopping self-blame and making sense of lifelong struggles. Pros of ADHD. What most people never tell you is that the same brain that struggles with focus also carries rare strengths. A mind like this is naturally creative, fast, and deeply intuitive. It doesn't think in straight lines. It thinks in connections, patterns, and possibilities. That's why ideas come to you rapidly, why you can see solutions others miss, and why your thinking feels intense and alive. When something truly interests you, this brain can enter a state of hyper-focus where time disappears and productivity becomes extreme, allowing you to work for hours with a level of depth and passion that most people cannot access. Emotionally, you often feel things more deeply, which can translate into strong empathy, creativity, and originality. Many innovators, creators, entrepreneurs, and visionaries share this same brain wiring because it is not designed to be average or repetitive. It is designed to explore, build, and create. The problem was never a lack of potential. The problem was that no one ever taught you how to control and channel this kind of powerful mind. But here's where everything starts to fall apart, because a powerful mind without control doesn't just struggle, it self-destructs. When structure is missing, creativity turns into chaos, energy turns into inconsistency, and ideas become constant distractions. You start depending on motivation, excitement, or mood, but the moment that initial spark fades, progress collapses. You take on too much, jump between tasks, chase multiple goals at once, and slowly burn out without finishing anything. Multitasking feels productive, but it quietly kills momentum. Days end with half-done work, mental exhaustion, and the same promise, "I'll do better tomorrow." This isn't a discipline issue, it's a system failure. Without external structure, clear limits, simplified goals, and intentional boundaries, this kind of mind keeps fighting itself. And when that happens long enough, frustration turns into self-doubt, confidence erodes, and quitting starts to feel normal. Not because success is impossible, but because the mind was never given the structure it needs to stay consistent. Solution. No matter whether you're a student, married, or building your career, the core problem is the same, and the solution is also the same. The issue is not lack of intelligence or effort, but lack of structure, because science shows that the brain does not change through intention or motivation. It changes through repeated routines. Discipline is not something you feel first. It is something you practice daily through systems. For students, this means fixed short study blocks at the same time and place, focusing on one subject at a time, even when motivation is low. In relationships and marriage, discipline means consistency, predictable communication, daily check-ins, written commitments, and stable routines that create emotional safety. In career life, discipline means direction, one clear goal, fixed working hours, limited daily tasks, and starting work on time instead of waiting to feel ready.
People who have defeated procrastination and built disciplined lives did not rely on willpower. They relied on structure, because the brain learns through routine, repetition, and reward. Once structure enters your life, focus follows, confidence returns, and progress becomes inevitable. Your mind was never the problem, the system was. If you see yourself in this video, understand this clearly. Having ADHD does not make you weak. It means your brain is powerful, fast, and different. The mistake is not having this mind. The mistake is never learning how to use it. Stop fighting yourself and start working with your brain. Take the systems and routines you just learned and apply them daily, because when structured correctly, this mind can outperform the average. Turn what you once thought was a weakness into your greatest strength. And if this video made you feel understood, if it explained your life even a little, then like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below, "I'm taking control," because this journey is not about motivation, it's about transformation.